Hello Casiopians and welcome to Digital Casio. Today we'll be taking a look at the Meta ME-110. The Meta series of watches were released to the Japan domestic market only in the mid-90s. And as far as I'm aware, there's only 5 models in the range. I've already reviewed the ME-100 and I'll leave a link in the description below. So the module to the ME-110 is the 1828 and it shares the same module as the ME-120. So there are a couple of striking features about this watch. The first one is the way the LCD is just underneath the crystal there, giving it a look as though the LCD is actually sitting right on top. The second unique feature I think about this is the way the band is integrated into the watch case. So the watch case is solid stainless steel, and with the band into the watch it gives this case a pretty unique shape. So from this profile shot you can see that the top and bottom of the case is raised and the crystal is curved. This actually adds a layer of protection for the crystal, which is mineral crystal in fact. Unfortunately the buttons are plastic. So my particular version of the ME-110 has this mesh band, which has this pretty unique kind of metal piece on there, as well as the Meta logo there, and it comes with the easy adjust clasp. The watch back is also stainless steel and has the sine wave Meta logo on there. It is held on by 4 screws and also has a serial number. You can see here the complicated attachment to the case with the wristband. So before we go into the functions, you can do an LCD test by pressing the bottom buttons and the top left. Once all the characters are displayed, we can press the bottom right button, and this takes us through and shows the characters in different forms. And we can press any of the other 3 buttons to get out of this test mode. The backlight is an illuminator and it does a brilliant job of lighting up the screen there. It shines for about 1 second. Now I do believe there is an auto light function, at least there is according to the LCD test that we did, but I am unable to find this function. So now I'll show you how to adjust the time on this watch. Press and hold the top left button, and then we use the right hand buttons to go through the world times. Now when we scroll through, you may notice that the city times actually are in alphabetical order as opposed to the time zone that they're in, which is kind of unusual. So I'll set this to Chicago, which is my time zone. To continue, we'll press the bottom left and we have daylight saving time. Press the bottom right to turn that on or off. We'll put it on. Then we'll start with the seconds, again bottom right button, and then left, and so on to adjust the time. So I'll set this one to 3:30. The next option is the 12 or 24 hour option. I'm going to put this on the 12 hours. Next is the calendar year, and this goes from 1995 through to 2039. So I'll set this to 2020. Next up is the month, and then the date. So once we're done, we press the top left and that sets the time. It is an auto calendar, so it correctly identified 6:15 as Monday. So you see here, by pressing and holding the bottom right button, you actually get a second time zone. So this is currently set to New York City, but we can adjust that. So I'll set this to London, which is where I was born. When you're in either of these time modes, you can press the top left button and that toggles between the year and the city. So we'll just put this back on to time zone 1. So the first function of this watch is the Tele Memo, or as the watch states, that it's actually a data memory 30, so you can have 30 records in this. So we'll set the first one by pressing the adjust button at the top left. So for the first record, we'll start putting in a text entry. This can be 8 characters of letters or numbers. So the second part of this record is the numbers. It can be 12 digits long, and you can have a combination of dashes and spaces. It's unusual that you do the bottom part of the record first and then the top. And then once you're done, press the adjust button to store the record. So if the text on the bottom is longer than 5 digits, it scrolls to the left and then it scrolls up, which is pretty cool. I like that. And press the bottom right button and this tells you how much memory is left. And at this point we can input another record, but we won't. We'll move on to the alarm. So we can test this alarm by pressing and holding the bottom right button. We can briefly press this button and that turns the hourly signal and the daily alarm on and off, indicated in the top. So we'll set the alarm by pressing and holding the adjust button and the hours flash. Notice that the current time is still displayed in the display here. And we use the same combination of buttons as we did for setting the time. So I can still see the time, so I'll set this one for 3:35 so that we can check it out. Press the adjust button and that sets that alarm. We'll go back to timekeeping mode and wait for the alarm. So you can hear it's a just your standard beep beep for 20 seconds. So the final function is the stopwatch, and we can start and stop the stopwatch by using the bottom right button. The top left button will split time or give you a lap time, and we press that again to resume the stopwatch. So with the split time running, we can get the split time by pressing the stopwatch to stop. It shows you 15.4 and 23.24. And we press the button again to reset to 0. So that completes the functions of the ME-110. Oh no, there is one more function, and that is a demo function by pressing and holding the bottom left. And to exit the demo mode, we press and hold the bottom left again. So in my research, I have come across 7 versions of this watch, with some collaborations in there as well. I don't know the exact model numbers, but there isn't much literature online for this. So let's take a look at this on the wrist. The mesh band actually looks pretty good, especially with the metal accents on there. However, you can see here, it's difficult to get a good shot, but you can see that the watch does not sit flush on my wrist. I guess if I had a small square wrist it would sit better. But the watch does look nice. It's not uncomfortable, it just doesn't sit right. The band doesn't pull my hairs, which is also a good thing. I know in my last video I said that the band doesn't pull my hairs. I had somebody comment and said they it pulled theirs. So I guess I just have band resistant hair. So you can see this watch comes in at 80 grams, which is pretty heavy, but it is completely stainless steel, aside from the buttons. So that's the ME-110. Despite its flaws, it's actually a pretty good watch. Considering the bargain price, you can pick these up for about $40. Now brand new, these were $140, so I would say go for it. So it's not the best design in the world. Its stainless steel construction certainly brings that up, so I'm going to give this one a 6 out of 10. You can actually pick these up for about $20 to $40 on a Japanese website. I know that brand new these were $140, so they're actually a pretty good deal. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a thumbs up, and there is a subscribe button there as well. There's plenty of you who watch these videos and haven't subscribed yet. I'd appreciate if you did. That really helps out the channel. So I'll leave you with the specs, and until next time, ta-ra!